Thursday, February 6th, 2025, and I'm here. Let me put the hat up. It's 9:30 in the morning. Fed the lambs, bottle fed the lambs. They drank about 4 cups this morning of milk replacer, and fed them some cattle cubes. That got them all excited. All the sheep came together. So right now it's about 73 degrees, I'd say. It's nice and warm, and there's a strong wind from the south, hence the hat. There's a chance of rain today. I think we might have already gotten a little bit of rain, or just humidity condensing in the morning. There's the skinny sheep. That's the one I wanted to look for. Her butt's cleaned up a little bit. Oh man, she's bone thin. So I watched a video at the recommendation of one of my subscribers about how to know which animals to cull, and I had some thoughts about it, some mathematical thoughts. Oh, by the way, I saw U20. That's the one that I sure hope this hat is working. U20 was the one that had the jaw that was fat. Let's see if we can find her here. Oh, she's right there, right straight ahead. It's still a little swollen, but not too much. Lymph nodes get swollen sometimes. That's what they do. And her condition seems just fine. In fact, she's bigger than Yami, and Yami was born after her, so I can't really complain too much. I put some fresh salt out too. Rainwater got in the salt, and I just kind of squished it around, threw it out, and put some more in. And it's like, the sheep decided they like salt all of a sudden. That has some additives mixed in. So, okay, I wanted to talk about culling and how I intend to go about doing it. So the gentleman had a video, and I'm not going to link to it. So one of the problems, and this arises in computer science a lot too, is when you want to sort something, right? And in this case, I want to sort the animals by animals I most want to keep and animals I least want to keep, right? Here, get that lamb out of there. Probably put something over that so they can't step into it. Anyway, so you sort the animals, and then you say, well, I'm going to get rid of the bottom, 10% or 5% or whatever it is. So basically looking for the 1 out of 20 that's the worst, right? And get rid of them. And the idea is that if you do that consistently, that your genetics should improve, right? And so how do you decide which ones to keep and which ones to get rid of? And there's a scoring mechanism you can do. I'm going to take the hat and just kind of hold it close to my body, and hopefully the wind won't be too much. Okay, there's a scoring. You have to score. Basically, you have to say, this animal's worth 6,000 points, and that one's worth 3 points, and 6,000 is better than 3, so we're going to get rid of the 3 and keep the 6,000, right? And so how do you score animals? Well, you have to numerically rate different attributes of the animal. And then you provide a weight to each of those ratings, depending on how important that particular thing is for you. There you go, have a hat. If the audio turns out bad, I'm just going to cut this video short. So anyway, so you have a weight for each of the ratings. Okay, that's not for eating. I know it's made of straw, but it's not for eating, okay? Okay, so you have a total score based on ratings. You basically add the ratings together, and you multiply by the weights of each of the ratings, and you can do something called normalizing, right? What normalizing means is, like, you take the highest possible score and the lowest possible score, and you say the highest score is 1 and the lowest score is 0, and then you put some kind of scale in between, usually just a linear scale, right? But if you're getting lots of animals in a certain score range, you might want to try logarithmic or something like that, or exponential, whatever. There's different curves you can use, but linear is generally good enough, right? And besides, you're only looking for ones that are better than others. So any monotonically increasing function is a valid function to use for the weighting distribution. If I lost you there, don't worry. Monotonically increasing means that as you put bigger numbers into the function, the value gets bigger. That's all it means. Pretty simple stuff. Okay, so then you have the score, and then you just take the bottom whatever and you get rid of them. Okay, now in my case, I'm not going to go so far as to like numerically weight each animal and have like a spreadsheet of values and their value and stuff like that. There's some things that are extremely important to me and some things that I really don't care about very much at all, right? And so instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort the animals based on those features, right? Feature number one, if they don't give me an animal, if they don't give me a lamb or a calf, they're gone, right? So whether that's 10% or 5% or 2% or 20%, doesn't matter, they're gone, right? Obviously, if it's like 50%, then I'm doing something wrong. I need to figure out what I'm doing wrong and fix it. Maybe give the animals a reprieve. But the bottom line is that's very important to me. Number two, if they're sick, they're gone, right? If they're sick and they recover, that's different than being perennial sick, right? Or certain kinds of sickness that I just can't tolerate. Like wormy animals, they have to go, right? Not because they're spreading worms, but because their genes are no good, right? They're susceptible to worms in our situation, right? And then after that, then there's body condition, right? So if I go through all of the animals and I cull, the ones that don't give me a calf or a lamb, and then I cull the ones that are wormy, and I say, oh, that's only 3% of the animals. There's 97% left, but I want to target 10%. Well, if that's the case, then what I have to do is, sort probably based on condition. The better conditioned cows stay, and the better conditioned sheep stay. Maybe the bigger sheep, the smaller cows. I don't know. I don't know what it's going to be, but something like that. Somebody asked about birth rates. This year it was 1.2 lambs per ewe. 2 lambs died shortly after they were born. I think that just brings it down to 1.2 because I had like 20 of them. No, 1.1 or something like that. And then I had 50% ewes and 50% rams, so exactly 50-50. Not a lot of twins, which is concerning to me. I understand that sheep oftentimes don't give twins the first time. If they don't give me a twin the third time, they're gone. They're automatically gone, right? The second time and the first time, though, are kind of like, well, if all my sheep give twins the first time, except one, I'm going to get rid of that one. You know what I mean? But if most of them only give one, then there's no reason to get rid of them. But in the future, I'm going to really target aggressively culling based on the number of lambs, especially the number of lambs that survive, right? So basically at the end of the year, I'm going to go through and count the number of lambs that the ewe has given me that survived and that were raised to weight, and then those ones that give me the most are the ones that I keep. So that's basically my culling system that I'm planning on using. Right now, I'm doing something really weird where I'm basically keeping all the sheep that I can. I'm only getting rid of the really, really bad ones. And the only reason I'm doing that is because it's a free room and board, right? It's not costing me anything to have those additional sheep on my property. In fact, it's helping my property by having them on the property. Number one, I get to learn how to manage large numbers of sheep before it becomes super critical. And number two, they're actually having an impact on the soil. Okay, and that's what I really want. I'm going to get up to 300 sheep, and then at that point, I need to start culling, right? So once I get to the magic number of 300 or 320 or whatever it is that I decide is the number of sheep that I want, then I'm going to start aggressively culling. And because of the reproduction rate of the sheep is so high, I can cull aggressively and it won't hurt the bottom line, right? I should be getting rid of, if everything goes well, obviously the bad animals, but I'll be getting rid of mediocre animals, right? Mediocre animals that might have market value, good market value, right? And hopefully in the future, because of my culling policy, I'll be getting rid of animals that are actually quite good, right? So I might hold a sale and say, hey, these are sheep that I actually think are pretty decent. They're not the best sheep I have, but they're pretty decent. And I'll sell those, right? And then in the future, if I'm culling animals that are really good, then what I'm going to do instead is just start selling flocks, with a livestock guardian dog or two to go with them, maybe a breeding pair of livestock guardian dogs or something like that. You know what I mean? A starter flock, basically, which I think is kind of the ideal thing. Maybe what I'll do is I'll write a book about how to take care of your sheep, or in my case, how not to take care of sheep. And no, but a book on like this is what's important. This is how you manage it. This is what to look for, and because it'll be the very natural, non-medical approach, right? Basically, if a sheep has problems, get rid of it is going to be my solution. And I'll write a book about that. Then give people who purchase a flock the book. So here's some animals, here's some guardian dogs, and here's the book. So that's what I'm planning on doing. Guys, you have a great day. Take care, and bye-bye.